Welcome back to the BrewSpytheMagicGuy show. I'm your host, Sean, and tonight we've got a short one, but it's going to be sweet. So this is my take on what we were doing just the other day, which was essentially, it's a, the idea is it's a Glint Hawk deck. So this was one of the viewers at the beginning of last stream when we were trying to brew around. Mox Amber suggested Glint Hawk because you can pick up the Amber and reuse it. Now, Glint Hawk also has some interesting synergies with Mox Opal, both of which you can kind of pick up and play it again and tap it for mana again and use the mana again and pick it up. And depending on how many Hawks or Springleaf Drums we draw, we should be able to do some kind of cool stuff. I thought about running some Ornithopters, but I kind of diverted away from playing the Signal Pests in lieu of, I thought that the Hero's Blade, the dual-wielding Hero's Blades was really flavorful and cool. I'm not going to say that it's good, but it is an equipment that cheats on mana. This is the equipped creature gets +3/+2 for 2 mana. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach Hero's Blade to it. I also thought that this might be a good deck for... what is it, Thopter? I'll think of it in a minute. The 2-drop guy, the Smuggler's Copter. I thought about Smugglers. I also think that the sideboard should have Tormod's Crypt instead of just a bunch of Rest in Pieces. I know that Rest in Peace is very good right now, but that doesn't mean that we should just have a bunch of it. I think 2 is more than enough. I just, if we're gonna be a Mox deck, like Mentor, side deck, I think that a split of Crypt and Rest in Peace makes sense to me. So let's grab that, and then we're gonna play. How are you guys doing today? I know this is kind of a short stream, but I just had this concept kind of swirling around my mind. Since yesterday, since someone suggested brewing around with Mox Amber. Well, actually, I wanted to brew around with Mox Amber, but I didn't think about Glint Hawk and all the cool little things it enables with these Moxen. Cool little things that we get to do. And I mean, the sideboard is a bit meme-ish, I'll admit. It's a bit of a meme. But that's okay. Now, is this a budget version of the deck? The answer is a resounding no. You could build this more on a budget and focus more on the legendary part, perhaps, and not build into the Mox Opal part of the deck. Like, Amber plus, the white legend. Wow. Amber plus 1 mana white legends, such as Kithian, Isamaru, and Rise. That still works. You could build like a budgety version that's just Amber's... everybody here except maybe Oisha, Oivia, actually, and maybe do something like that and still play the Hero's Blades. But we're gonna try to do it all here in this first version. We're gonna see if it works. I have no idea. This gets me a little bit excited. I hope it gets you guys excited too. Oh, there's that Tormod's Crypt. Let's jam. Let's not make too many other changes. What's up, Tiki? I think this deck's going to be kind of sweet. Like, we're doing some cool things. We're doing some somewhat affinity-like things, like you'll see in the sideboard I've added an S Champion. But we're doing some affinity-like things, but we're also doing cool things like flipping Areo, Sword Tommy Ascendant. I thought about 2 copies. I brought it down to just 1 because we also have things like Gaddock Teague that I wanted to play. And yes, this is a meme deck, Tiki, but I think it'll be really explosive. And if it's not, it's also a Mentor deck. But I'm not going to cue us in anything other than the 1v1s because I have very little faith in Little Legends. But yes, it's a little bit of a meme. I wonder how many times we can use the word little in one stream. I'm a little bit tired, admittedly, because... I did stream a little bit later than I meant to yesterday, even though we basically hit the goal. But it was close. How you doing, Tiki? How's it going? You're usually in Evan's stream, So it's interesting to see you here. I like it. I don't mind it. Like it. I also like the idea of Geist the Saint Traft picking up Hero's Blade. Oh man, it's Frank Lepore. Hey Frank. This hand's interesting. It's got Kythian with the Hawk. We'll keep it. This hand's actually pretty sweet. We get to do, well, it runs out a little bit of gas, but we have 2 redraws. Both we can spend the Canopy and the Bauble. So we got 2 redraws. I mean, if we can't keep this hand, then this deck just isn't worth it. No, he's gonna take my Kythian. We lose. It's over. Alright, so he takes the Kythian. We will turn on the Moxen. I think is the plan. Actually, we don't even have to take a point of damage here. If we don't want to. Blood Crypt. Okay. We are playing against another streamer, for those of you that don't know Frank. Oh, I meant to... Whoops. Meant to cycle Canopy first there, I think. Ooh, that was weird. Need to cycle there first, I think. That's okay. So another Kythian. We could try again. We'll attack. Abrupt decays my Hawk. Okay. I mean, honestly, I kind of like keeping the Indestructible up for the Kythian since we're kind of out of gas here. We've drawn a lot of the mana sources the deck has access to. I don't think we're in a rush to make it so he could kill the Kythian. If he has 3 mana Lily, he does get to take out the Kythian, which would be unfortunate. Hero's Blade. It's probably Bloodbraid. Murderous Redcap. Okay. Well, now we got Fireworks. So we can play Psy. Psy comes in, we can slap the blade on him. Moxen. Keep. Yes. We are out of gas for now. Now, Psy, we can sacrifice like Mox Amber and the Citadel to keep going. This might just be like, well, it won't be Kikijiki. I'm trying to think what it might be. Kitchen Finks. Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness, the Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay, the Sword? Like, is it Hero's Blade he cares the most, or is it just you hit Kithian here? I could also see hitting Psy. Like, I think we're okay with that. I think we are okay with it. Because Psy, I think, secretly is the real prize here. Our deck has so much synergy. It's not quite as strong as Monastery Mentor, but... So he could trade off for my Psy. I think that was a little greedy on my part, actually, to crack the using Psy. Hoping, what was I hoping for? Mana Source? Don't think that was great. And now we kind of get to do our thing. Isamaru can wear both of the blades. That is a big Isamaru. Hey, what's up, Ike? Now, how does the Isamaru hold the blades? How does Isamaru hold Hero's Blade? I want to know. We want to know. Hey, what's up, Ike? Somebody should go over to Frank Laporte's stream and say... somebody should go over to Frank's stream and say hello and let them know it's a streamer showdown of sorts, because this is sweet. This is kind of sweet. And then we get to play Kithian and we can move the Hero's Blades to the Kithian, which is kind of cool. Or we don't move both, we just move one. And it's kind of spread the love. I probably only move one blade to Kithian. I'm thinking a yes and a no. Hero's Blade is kind of freaking sweet, actually. I'm glad we have a couple of them. Face is a slideshow? Okay, I'll screw around with it. Oh, we won. Yeah, I don't know why the camera has been doing that lately. I really don't know, to be perfectly honest. But now he's going to have his artifact removal in. How do we want to move forward? Opponent is certainly using a lot of, well, either grid's nuts. That's where we're going to start. I don't think we want Leave and Paradoxical. I don't think it's that kind of a match. If it is, I'd rather play Leaf the Chance just because he is a hand disruption deck. I know that Paradoxical is the more powerful card in a vacuum, but this is the more resilient one, although it has anti-synergy if we are going to do Rest in Peace. So, his deck does care about Rest in Peace. I might even play the Tormod's Crypt because it can stop him from comboing off. Paths work here. I would assume he's a Collected Company deck, right? We just didn't see Company? I would assume he's a Company deck. Also, this is maybe a spot where we could try out Arreo. I mean, these are all considerations. I think the obvious is Gear Per. We know it's going to be a grindier game, so this is where I want to trim down on some of the legends, especially the ones that don't turn on Hawk, and then I like trimming down so that we don't get redundant copies. The exception could maybe be Kithian. But I kind of like the idea of making sure that we want to make sure that we have enough to turn on the Amber a reasonable amount of the time, but we're bringing in some other legends. But let's put back in the first Ovia. I think the other ones that are just here to turn on Mox Amber, I'm fine having 2 copies of, but like Ovia, let's just have 1. So that's a 61. Do we want to cut down on Hero's Blade because we think he's going to go after them? I think it's very reasonable that the opponent's going to go after our blades post-board. I think that's pretty reasonable. Paths seem fine. Other than that, do we want Dovin? Do you want Etch Champion? I probably would rather have Etch Champion than I would Geist. Geist without the blades seems weak. And again, if we want to fight over company, Gaddock Teague does that, Areo does that. I don't know if I want to go as deep as Rebuke since we have all these other cards I want to be playing. Actually, let's cut an Amber. When we cut some legends, we should cut an Amber or 2. Actually, let's cut 2. Let's cut a couple Amber when we take out, and then let's put in either Dovin or Champion. Kind of like the idea of the Planeswalker. Kind of like the idea of both of these things. It's going to be a grind. Let's do that. I actually don't mind the ability on Rise and Ovia, since we know it's going to be kind of a grind. Got to get a little bit more grindy. Obviously, our deck is very all-in, so it's hard to perceive that we can get grindy, but I certainly think that's us getting grindy. Well, it's got Hawk and Opal. I guess we do keep it. He had Disruption for us last time, unfortunately. So if he's got it again, I mean, he can't easily disrupt this hand, per se. Okay, so if we go White, Hawk, pick up, tap, tap. Alright, hold up. Let's go green, pick up the... Just trying to get Teague into play, I think, is what I'm trying to do. Because we have Mentor in hand, I don't really want to go down an artifact just to... like, especially with Mentor, and I mean, Isamaru is just as much power as Teague here. Hawk is so sweet in this deck. I really like this card. It's essentially free quite a bit of the time. Get in there. Looks like Frank's got some stuff for us. I mean, if he spends a removal spell here, we're just going to slam Mentor and just start going to town, right? Is the plan? It's probably going to push. Okay. Well, we can't Mentor now, if that was the plan, right? Yeah, we can't do that now. Well, what we could do is we can Hawk the Opal back to my hand. So now it's good for Mentor, and then we can tap this Hawk, deploy the Isamaru. Next turn we'll go for Mentor, tapping Isamaru. This deck is doing some really cool stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's good, but we are doing some really cool stuff. I'm not gonna say it's good, but we're doing some really cool stuff. Did somebody jump over to Frank's stream and say that this is a streamer showdown? Or don't say that. Ask if they have people curious in the chat about a deck list, we can get that for them. Actually, you can just give them the list from here, from me. We don't need to be all vain like that. But if there are people over there and somebody wants to hop over, and give them the list. That'd be cool. Especially after we're done playing against Frank. Usually Frank will reach for a list because he's a good guy. He'll probably reach for this list after. You can also get it this way from my Stream Decker account, Little Legends. I kind of rather attack first. Is he gonna go after my drum? Feel like that's what's happening, is he wants to go after the drum. Seems like he wants to go after the spring leaf. So now coast is clear to mentor and just go bonkers. That is the plan. And now, even if he removes the mentor, which is possible, we've gotten a couple of prowess monks out of it. Well played, Frank. Well played. So, I don't want to do it because that would be rather vain. But if there are people in his chat, because I'm assuming Frank is live right now, isn't he? He's not the type to play Moto without being live. He's a pretty sociable guy. If somebody in the chat here wants to hop over and see if they're asking for the Little Legends list in his channel, happy to give it to them. Thanks, Captain Command. Use the Stream Decker account because the print screen link is a little on the sketchy side. Use this guy. Thanks, Captain Command. I appreciate the support. Let them know. I actually don't know if I have much more time for another game. If we did, we'd have to be really quick, and we might have to leave in the middle of the game. So that means we'll just do a play lobby game. I'm sorry we don't have more time tonight. This is just a prototype. I think you guys might like it. Knowing Frank, he might have been like, "Whoa, this is sweet." It's not quite like Cheerios, which I kind of like. I mean, Cheerios can go all combo-y though, but let's just do a quick open game, and because I got a meeting tonight, and I unfortunately can't hang with you guys as long as I did yesterday, but I still think that this deck is pretty cool, and oops, modern. Think it's definitely cool to feature for you guys. At least this prototype. Yeah, deck is indeed what it is. Is it like a worse? I think it's just too different to really put it in the same category as something like Cheerios, or Affinity, or anything really. It's like a little weenie combo-ish. It's like a little weenie deck with synergies. But we did get double Hero's Blade going, and we were just equipping left and right, which was sweet. Wonder if the deck wants Thalia, but if we had Thalia, we wouldn't be able to do some of the nonsense. Like the Cheerios side of the deck wouldn't work. Now, we're kind of sad that we have Oiva with Mox Amber, right? But we've got Isamaru Amber. Let's keep it. Look, have fun. I think this will work. I think this will do what we want. Was there maybe perhaps another way I could have gone about this? Is the next question. I think we hold the bauble, right? Well, no, we need another mana source to actually get Mentor into play. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending where you're at. Oh, yeah? Arclight Phoenix. Oh, we know what that matchup is. It's pretty obvious. There's Moxen. Just trying to see if we could get some value out of the Mentor. It may not be possible to. It may still be correct just to put Mentor into play instead of some weenies. If you catch my drift. I mean, turn 2 Mentor is turn 2 Mentor. Now, will he die to a Fatal Push here? Very possibly. So, maybe this is a total mistake. He's just thought scouring. Ooh, he's on the Pyromancer Ascension version. I like it. I mean, if he has Bolt here, he has Bolt here. Or Lightning Axe, he has Lightning Axe here. But if he doesn't... I mean, we didn't even really have many cards for the Mentor just yet. To be perfectly honest, we did not. Now, what are we going to have to do with our mana? I mean, like, if he doesn't remove Kithian, we are flipping Kithian next turn. If he doesn't flip Kithian, we get to... We'll make a token? I'm all for making tokens. Morphos. Okay, I'm with you. With you so far. He does need another spell here. It should be easy. That will not bring back Phoenix. Okay. So that's good news. Bang the drum. Well, we actually don't want to play drum here for various reasons. We're just going to sit back and make a token. During their end step. This is the hardcast Phoenix? I imagine not. What they really need is Sting in the Ice. I'm hoping he doesn't find one. It's really what the opponent needs is Sting in the Ice. Because he's already at 9 with a fetch, so like a virtual 8 if he wants to use that fetch land. We will make creature. He's at 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'd rather just get the damage in with Oivia instead of... Yeah, I think we actually want to get her damage in, don't we? No. No, it's 1 point of damage. I think you still would rather make the token. And I think I prefer Memnites to Ornithopters in this deck, even though like Memnite fly or Ornithopter flies. I think we just wanted, we just wanted creatures that can tap the most efficient way to bang on the drum. That's also just the beats. And I know you're like BrewSpy, you drew 3, but like we got there. Now, Arclight Phoenix post board, we definitely want things like Path, Peace, Crypt. How do we beat their deck though otherwise? They will have Anger, etc. post board. Even though Anger's a bit of a non-bow with, even though it's a bit of a non-bow, hang on, let me fix the cam. Even though it's a bit of a non-bow, they'll still be doing that. Arreo might be a consideration. That's a good question. I mean, Geist is sweet. We might just want resilient creatures to come in. But first things first, we got to make sure we can fit all the different... If we're bringing in Rest in Peace, I like Leave the Chance a lot less. That's pretty obvious. I like the Hero's Blades a little bit less post-board because opponent's going to be gunning for our artifacts. So I like these less after board. Spirit Paths. And the game's going to get a little bit more grindy. Like last time what we did was we kind of shrunk down a little bit on the legends, and we also cut a couple of amber when we did that. I think that's still correct. So basically cutting one of each of the redundant legends and then 2 Moxen, I think is where we want to start. Because remember, we have a ton of mana in this deck. We have more mana than you might imagine. Sorry, hang on, did it again. It did it again. Not sure why. It's doing that. I don't think we want anything else really for this matchup, right? So he's Phoenix. If Path hits Thing in the Ice. We don't really have another good answer for Thing in the Ice anyway. Sometimes they have Young Pyromancer after board. So that's a consideration for either grid, that some of these builds are Young Pyromancer builds. We do have room for 1. And then we have room for Wear Tear hits Pyromancer's Ascension. That's about it for that. We don't really care about Blood Moon. I think cutting here is perfect. I'm happy to cut like this way. I think we could play the Arreo. I think we could play Arreo. Alright, let's run it back. And then I gotta go. I got an alarm in 8 minutes. I set my alarm for 8 minutes from now, just to remind me to close the stream down shortly after. So this opener's a little bit awkward, but I think we will keep it. It's got 2 redraws, the Horizon Canopy and the Bauble. There's a Rest in Peace. There you go, sideboard card. So we can deploy... We can do some cool little nonsense here, sort of. It may be just a boring start of just start with Oivia, because the Hawk... We can't quite combo with Hawk here, because we would need... Well, these two don't have as much synergy as the other legends in our deck. I think it may just be... And we may want to hold Bauble so that Opal works. Like, next turn we want to set up so that we can play both Hawk and Rest in Peace. So I think we're fine just playing Oivia. Next turn we can kind of explode a little bit, and it's fine. We can play both the Rest in Peace and the Hawk next turn. Because of the Citadel, right? Because we'll go Mox, Citadel, Bauble. Well, Citadel, Bauble, Mox, tap Mox. You want to end on Mox and make sure it has Metalcraft. Is it Isamaru? But the neat thing about with the Glint Hawk play is we get to... Yes. Okay, Mox. So white. Rest in Peace. Okay, so here we go. Glint Hawk. This won't quite work actually the way that I wanted it to. Just because the legend that we have is... No, it's a Mox Opal. We're good. Since it's Mox Opal, we're good here. We'll pick up the Opal. And am I playing around Anger of the Gods at all here? No. but I want to get a move on. And if he's got the sweeper, he's got the sweeper. Okay, so since he's bolting Isamaru, I assume... I'm going to go ahead and assume that the opponent doesn't. Now, again, Oivia, if we can get to 5 mana, she is a little bit more impactful than Rise. So her second ability is much, much better than the first. Rise's second ability is also kind of interesting. So like we will sometimes run into situations where we just have a ton of mana. I think I'm going to risk turning off the Opal to draw an extra card here. Not very useful information. Here's an Arreo, but we can't flip her. Do we just play her out, is the question. We can either play Arreo or we could sit on making a servo.